with the what ifs. We could stop with the, oh my God, it's down to 6 with 13 to play. The New York Mets have officially now clinched the National League East a couple of moments ago with a 10-2 victory. David Wright with the 3-run homer in the ninth inning, top of the ninth. And the Mets defeat the Reds, and they are the National League East champions for 2015. Now, you know, you have to credit Alderson here. You have to credit the front office with being patient. We were killing them. New York media was killing them. Well, he stayed around, floated around with these guys, with these prospects. And he made the move, Uribe, Kelly, back in May or June, whatever it was. And then Cespedes. And it was huge. And you could say weak division, 3 punching bags in the Braves, Phillies, and Marlins that they play regularly. That's fair. But you can't take away one title from the Mets this year, and that is the National League East Division champions. That's what they are. They're going to the playoffs for the first time in 9 years. And as a baseball fan and someone who has watched the Mets, I feel really good for a few people. You got to feel good for David Wright, someone who has been hampered by injuries, and he's back in the postseason. Good guy, works hard. Dan Warthen, someone who's been with the Mets since 2008, has seen nothing but collapses and heartbreak and losing seasons. He's done a great job with his pitching staff. He's going to the postseason. Daniel Murphy, who they put out in the outfield, I'll never forget it. They put him in left field. I think it was against Washington. He fell down. Easy pop fly, he fell down. They were killing Murphy. He couldn't get shipped out of New York enough. Well, guess what? He's been big this year. Murphy's been big. And he was able to pop that champagne and have a champagne shower as well. And finally, the guy that I'm really happy for is the eventual National League Manager of the Year, because it has to happen. The job that he has done this year, and that is Terry Collins. And I'll go one step further. The job he has done over the years. You know, Joe Morgan, years ago, killed Collins for the Astros not making the playoffs because he was too uptight. He panicked too much. He made the dugout feel uneasy, on edge. And I feel last couple of years, I'd say he's mellowed since he got hired by the Mets, but Terry has done a masterful job here. And I'm not saying that in terms of baseball strategy, because a lot of that leaves a lot to be desired with Terry, to be fair. But the players love him. He gets through to his players. He may not do the X's and O's right. And Terry Collins may not be the manager that you want strategy-wise in Game 7 of a playoff series. But through 162 games, a guy you want with your dugout, especially with young guys, Terry. They love him. Love him. And he got a couple of bad breaks with Houston. I think if they had the second wild card back then, he would have made the playoffs. He left Anaheim in bad taste. You hear the rumors that the players signed a petition to get him fired, even though he resigned with 29 games left. And his first couple of years with the Mets, they've been nothing but losing seasons. But he is now headed to the playoffs for the first time as a manager. And for Terry Collins, that's got to feel awesome. That's got to feel awesome. And good for him. And good for the Mets. And, I'm a Yankee fan here. There's no denying it. There's no denying it. I started watching baseball in 95. I fell in love with Don Mattingly and Bernie. And this Yankee team, O'Neill. And that's who I've been. I bleed Yankee pinstripes. But this notion from Yankee fans that we have to totally crap on the Mets, it's ludicrous. Why can't the Mets enjoy themselves? Listen, the Mets have made the playoffs 8 times in 53 years. This is kind of a big deal for them. But, and again, I'm not trying to downplay it. The Mets have taken a beating for a long time. You know how long they've taken a beating? Since Carlos Beltran stood there in 2007 and took the pitch. And it got worse when they collapsed in 07, and it got worse when it collapsed in 08, and 09, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Losing season after losing season after losing season. The Rockies swept them in 4 games. Rockies were the worst team in baseball. Francesa killed them on FAN. WFAN dumped them for the Yankees. No one wanted a part of the Mets. They killed them. Wilpons don't know what they're doing. Sell the team. Alderson has no clue. Collins has no clue. Trade right. And they're here. And where will they go from here? I don't know. Will they go out in the first round? Will they go to the World Series? Will they win the championship? I don't know. But I know one thing. That this Mets team is exciting this year. And while I believe that they will never take over the city. It's going to take a lot. It's going to take 5 titles in 6 years. But right now, people are talking about the Mets in New York more than anything. And Yankee fans don't like that? Well, too bad. Mets aren't taking over the city. Mets aren't even close to that. Let's put that to bed. Look at what happened with the Nets, with the Knicks. New York will always be a Knick town. Knicks can go out and win 20 games a year. And it'll always be a Knick town. New York will always be a Yankee town. But that doesn't mean that you can't get excited for the Mets. And that a city this year can't get excited for the Mets. And that's what they are. And the Mets deserve this. And yeah, you can throw around, well, they've had punching bags. If I'm in a division with with Atlanta and Philly and Miami and Washington, who's not that great, I can win a division title. Well, for the Yankee fans saying that, let me ask you a question. Did you say that when we had the Tampa Bay Devil Rays and the Baltimore Orioles in our division from 96 on? Obviously, Tampa Bay came in 98, but you get what I'm saying. Yankees always had the Red Sox, and Toronto was always pesky. But you still had 2 teams that were doormats in Baltimore and Tampa Bay. So